So I think for a lot of us, there's a worry that some of the content we put out might not land. It might be too personal. It might show too much behind the scenes. It might have too much personality in it. And I've certainly spoke with a lot of people over the last 2 or 3 months where they're worried that LinkedIn in general is going that way. And I think it's been an ongoing conversation for some time. And I have to disagree. I don't think there's any harm in showing that personal side on LinkedIn, as long as it's in addition to your content as opposed to as a core of your content. And here's what I mean by that. I see people posting the food they had at a conference the other day, not really anything about your personality. We're not going to learn anything from that, right? Unless you were there at the conference, in which case you're all sharing photos of your food. Brilliant, great, nice. But what I'm talking about is, I posted a photo not so long back of me and my son at the Sunderland football playoffs. Now, hopefully by the time we watch this, we've been promoted to the Premier League. We might not have been, but the photo meant a lot to me. And it, I believe, conveys a lot about who I am and what I believe and my family time, and that family's important to me. And it was professional in some regards, but it was also unashamedly me. And I think, if I think back 3 or 4 years, I'd have been terrified to post that because I was still corporate in my head. I was still used to being told what to post, having to be bland and vanilla and toe the company line in case I upset someone and caused the business to lose, caused the company to lose some business. It was frowned on to release anything that hadn't been checked over by HR, heaven forbid. But it's exactly the sort of content that now gives me an edge over anybody who is running a bigger agency because they don't want to do those sorts of things. And I think it's super important to show your personality in your posts. I read posts by people, and I can hear, if I've met those people and they're writing good content, I can hear them as I read the post. Or if they're doing video, I know the person that's on that video is exactly the person I met on Teams or Zoom when we had our conversation. And it's unapologetically them. So I think that's super important, but it's also some of the hardest stuff to get out there, right? I think there's a fine line. And you need to find yours. It's not an industry-wide fine line in terms of should you be emotional when you're on a video, right? If it's genuine, as long as it's like, I frown on anger, right? Like, let's use positive vibes into the world, right? And no crying CEOs either. Let's get things on a level, but we should be able to have a laugh. But you should be able to find out something about that person. But more importantly, like, if you're going to share this sort of stuff, stop worrying about being perfect, like the lighting and stuff. Like, I'd love to have a nice dark background behind me, nice moody background behind me, and all the professional podcast lighting and stuff. It just doesn't work in my house, in my room, right? So I work like this. Never once have I had somebody come to me and say, Paul, it didn't look very professional, that. You should do something else with it. I have thought about getting a little Javelin logo somewhere behind me on the wall, but, that's about the crux of it. And I like that unpolished, unprofessional to a certain extent. It's not unprofessional, it's pro-ish. Right, and that's my point. It needs to be good enough. It doesn't need to be a recording studio every time. They look great, by the way, if you're going to do that. Brilliant, fantastic. It's not necessary, I wouldn't say, in this day and age. So combine that imperfect recording with your personality, and I think you're onto a winner. But keep it as a spur of the moment, when you're feeling passionate about something and like you have to share it with the world. That's when you post it, not for scheduled. Right? Like, I don't do personal posts for scheduled. It's in the moment. Like, this idea is really exciting to me right now, and I'm going to write something about it and unleash that passion into the world. That's a good thing. It's a force for good. But don't, those personal posts will attract people to you. They will attract like-minded people who will be a good fit client. And that's the beauty of it. You want to attract more of those people. You want to attract people who align with you, because working with people who don't is a painful experience. So use those personal posts not to promote your business, but to promote your personality, because the people behind your business are what your customers ideally buy into. The services, the products, the offerings, there are other people out there that do what you do, I'd be willing to bet, at a similar price point to you. The only real differentiator is you as a person. Help them find who it is that they need to speak to. Find their tribe, and you're their tribe. Don't worry about likes and engagement and views and all those sorts of things. This is about you sharing just a little bit of who you are, whether it's an image, whether it's text only, whether it's a video. Feel comfortable with sharing that out there. Just don't drown people with it, because it will turn people off. Mix it in amongst your other content, and you will 100% start to attract your tribe. Let me know when you find them. See you next week on the Content Classroom.